has been returned to the U.S. Treasury.
Okay, and this furniture was selected?
It has been returned to the U.S. Treasury.
Okay, and this furniture was selected?
It has been returned to the U.S. Treasury.
Okay, and this furniture was selected by your wife, is that correct?
A style and a color was selected by her.
Fabrics, that sort of thing?
With the caveat that we were not happy with the pricing and they needed to find something. Well, if anybody knew my wife, they would realize how ridiculous this is. She's the most frugal person in the world.
So when did you become aware of the pricing?
When the article came out.
When the article came out. Do you know Ada Rodriguez?
Yes.
And she certainly had the quote on the pricing. That was just never shared with you before this?
Like I said, I dismissed myself from this issue because I had much more important things to deal with.
Is your wife involved in any other decisions regarding taxpayer money or funding or purchasing at the...
None whatsoever. And her question about all this was, can we buy used furniture? Why can't we buy used furniture? And we found out that we didn't have a way of doing that.
Okay. So lots of talk about the furniture and your wife. Does your wife have any office space or a HUD email?
She does not. My wife comes to my office when we have an engagement to go to so that we can go to it together. That averages it out to about once a week. My wife is a very friendly, gregarious person. She talks with staff, but she has nothing to do with HUD policy. No desire to have anything to do with HUD policy.
So last summer, you also allowed your son to help organize an agency listening tour in Baltimore against the advice of HUD ethics lawyers. Following this listening tour, did your son enter into any business relationships with any of the attendees?
He did not. He makes 100% sure that he stayed arm's length away from any such things. I discussed the tour with him before. The reason he got involved in the first place is because they were having some difficulty discovering who the right people were to speak to in Baltimore, and I suggested that he knew just about everybody there and they should talk to him.
Have there been any other incidents when you've chosen to ignore the advice of HUD Ethics Council?
Well, HUD's Ethics Council suggested that it might look funny for my son to be there. I discussed that with him and left it up to him. I'm not a person who spends a lot of time, thinking about how something looks. I realize that that's not the way of Washington, and that's a lesson that I've learned.
You've recently asked a HUD inspector.
All right, we back. That was Ben Carson not knowing that he I guess if guy was a nigga, basically, I mean, you got to understand, you got people who understands, you got people that demands, and you got people that just do all they can, But on a serious note, I'm telling you, the higher you go, I remember when I first started boxing, when I was over in Germany, and people were just acting so overly generous. Just overly generous. Because they felt like, I was somebody so-called special because, I was on the news, I was in the papers, and, matter of fact, I kind of was prepared for it. That's why I handled it the way I handled it. And people might have thought I was crazy, but I know the tests. I know the silly propaganda and traps that people do to each other all day, every day. And you gotta go to war. You're in war, So I remember when I first when I was in high school. I had just graduated. I had just finished ninth grade, and I started working at this park, working as a youth program for this park, making some money, during the summertime. So after I came back from school, before the school year began, the sophomore of my sophomore year in high school, I was on the news. I missed it. I never saw it, but it was they had, I told you a story about how they picked random people in the group, and because I knew the people that got me the job personally, I was able to be on the go to see Don Sutton and go to Angel Stadium and all that stuff. So when I started the 10th grade, I was already in the news. People already saw me. And they looked at me. I never saw it. So I never really. I mean, I wish I would have saw it, but I just missed it. We had no DVRs back then. We had VCRs, but it was in the news, so we missed it. So if you miss it, you just miss it. I'm pretty sure I could have went there and dig and got it, but I just didn't go through all that. But people were just acting so different towards me after that. I could just feel the difference. Because people put so much power on people who that's why they kind of watch out for people who be on TV, because they know that people are going to gravitate toward them in a certain way. That might be, it doesn't really matter if it's beneficial or if it's harmful to society. People really just don't care. All they care about is what is going to benefit them, not what benefits other people. It's what benefits them. So whoever's in control is always them first, and not other people. So no one's ever really designed to do what we pretty much try to glamorize, and that's people that sacrifice. Like Jesus sacrificed for us. But do we follow that path? No, we go with the opposite, because everything is opposite. We do the opposite, but we hide behind what really is, and that's not the opposite. It's lies, because the opposite of it is lies. So the truth is what we all glamorize, because the truth doesn't exist. The truth is something that's just made up for a figment of our imagination. Because really, lies, propaganda, misleading information, all kind of other things, that's what people live by. So when you see people like Ben Carson up there, pretty much looking and feeling so stupid because he's sitting there alone in front of all these white people who know damn well they would never be put in that situation ever. That situation wouldn't even exist, because they wouldn't even look at it. They would write it off, because they know if you do put forth this situation, you're getting in trouble for even putting it in. But Ben Carson, that's like somebody getting a medal. You getting him, So you have to understand, when black people, we were here living this country, doing what we're doing. You have to understand, we were bamboozled. We were stripped from everything that was supposed to be good that we made up, and we were given something opposite of that. So now we're looking like idiots, because we're trying to prove something without it's already been proven. So we're trying to be like something that we're already started. So then we try to live like we should have lived in the first place. And then you got a situation like this that sets you back, because you're doing too much right. You don't even have any kind of scandal on you. That doesn't fit you. You look better than the president. That's not gonna right. That's not gonna look right for society. You looking better than the president, because you might be president. we gotta get you for something. So let's go to the serpent. Let's go to the woman. Let's ask her about it. Let's see if we can get something out of her. So the first thing he does, he blames her, like Adam blamed Eve, because Eve was deceived. You know. So everything is pretty much backward. Everything is just a big recycle. Because going in circles, you know. So you gotta understand that it's basically a cold game.